Hello guys, welcome back. I hate my conditioner. Anyhow, I survived the night. Somebody asked a good question. They asked, how do you know if Loki's trying to contact you? And we've discussed that repeatedly before. There's going to be a billion different ways, and the way he would try to contact me is probably not going to be the way he tried to contact you. My damn hair. But it's going to be, something that's going to make sense to you. So don't worry if, like, leaves start falling on you every time you go outside and you're frantically looking up. Do leaves fall on people? If Loki's contacting them, it will likely be something totally unique to you. I get these. They're called whirly gigs around here. I get them all the time, and it's often going to be something you could dismiss, like a song on the radio, an animal outside. It doesn't matter the kind of animal, anything, absolutely anything, something on the TV, something else. And it's okay to ask for confirmation, to say, hey, if you want to deal with me, could I please have a sign I can't mistake? It's going to be something that's going to make sense to you. And I don't know your life history, so it's probably going to be something tailored perfectly to you. And if you have to ask 20 times, that's fine. He's very indulgent. He's been standing guard, in the background because he knows how I feel right now, but he's been standing guard and being very vigilant. So he's a vigilant little fox. He'll snap his jaws, closed on anything. So you can keep asking him for signs. Dionysus has been really close, obviously. And here, seeing a opening for a new head god applied, and I said, "You've got more neo-Nazis following you than Odin does. Go away." And it's just a thing now that I've reached a stage in my life, guys, where I'm not going to accept that anymore. I know there are terrible people that say they're Christians too, and I know there are terrible people that follow the Greek gods. You can't get away from terrible people on this planet. But it matters more with the Norse gods, if that makes sense. It matters more because, you get in that stage where they're your heroes and you idolize them. And then the more you deal with the old man, the more jaded and bitter you get. And then you're like, yeah, I could see why they did that. Loki's one of the good guys, I'd say. Loki and Thor, even though I know they drag Thor into it. Loki, they like to pretend usually doesn't exist. Some of them get attracted to Loki, but it doesn't seem to stay long. So, we're doing okay, and if Loki's trying to contact you, he'll do anything. I had asked for signs this morning, I didn't expect anything. I go on Bing, there's this beautiful church with this light up panorama on the outside of a illuminated text, which means words with pictures. It's what they made in the old days because they didn't have internet back then. And there were just all these Mr. Rogers pins, and I always run and hide under Mr. Rogers when life gets rough. Fuck ton of Odin pins came up, but I'm like, oh man, you get it. You gotta do better than that. Do you really think I'm afraid of you? Do you think you can intimidate me? And I could just see all these pins. There's very few Odin pins that have cuddly warm energy. Do you know what I mean? They have this either neutral energy or this hateful energy, and you can tell they're connected to Brawlhalla one way or another. And I'm like, why did I even like him? I think he actually did use magic on me. So I kept telling Dionysus and feeling really lost last night. I kept saying, I think he did use magic on me, and I was stupid enough to believe he'd never do that to me. I was so naive. And he goes, well, that's how magic works, my dear. You'll never know it's being worked on you. It's not like these trashy novels that we've been plowing through. He said, you won't know it's being worked on you. You won't know your free will's gone and you're being danced like a little puppet. And I said, I think Odin's so bipolar, I think the Oski part is almost non-aware of what the horrible parts do. Though that's terribly naive. And I said, I think the relationship was souring because I was having upticks of stuff that I wasn't going to tell you guys because I was like, that's just my imagination. I was having some really close shaves on the road. In fact, I was having a really close shave one time and something actually grabbed my backpack and jerked me to the side. And thinking of it, that would have been Hermes. I think that's why the Greek gods have been stepping up and interfering. It's not that they don't trust the rest of the Norse pantheon. They're like, Odin? We don't trust Odin. We don't trust Odin because Nazis, that's why. If you work with him and you love him and you truly don't think he can reach that level of whatever, great, the gods be with you, but I don't trust him, and I'm still one of those people that I'm like, you should be down here doing something, damn it. And I disagree with the article I read yesterday, and I've disagreed with it before, and they say that they don't get involved in the politics of people. I think they very much do if they can turn them to their advantage. And calling a hate group a political stance is just morally wrong and stupid. It's a hate group. It has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with hate. And we have to remember these hate groups think that they're righteous, good people doing the work of the gods. That's the scary part. They don't see themselves as villains. They don't see killing and torturing people or intimidating people or doing crimes in the names of the gods as bad things. They see it as morally good and upright. And that's a scary thing about these people. So there goes my phone. So I'm going to let it go for today, but made it through the first night. That's the worst night. And there's no repairing it with Odin. There's no repairing it with, like, most of the Norse pantheon. Loki's kind of ambivalently in the background. He did come today to make sure the little fox cub was alright, and he loves me and he'd like to be here. And I said, Loki, I love you to the moon and back. You don't know how much I love you, but you're a loyalist. In the end, you'll default to your brother. All the Norse gods will. And I said, I can't trust any of you. I'm sorry. And he just looked at me, kind of nodded, like, we taught you something after all. Good for you. So he's vaguely here, just keeping protective watch. But he's like, well, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you you can trust us. So, and that's their family. Odin's their family. They may have kicked his ass out once, but in the end of the day, he's still their family and their glorified leader. So, I'm getting the sass is strong with this one. I'm not sure who that was. But we will be okay. We will still have a channel. I'm gonna try to think of God of the Day. I'm still trying to unpack all the times Loki jumped in front and took credit for stuff other gods did. I love Loki, but God, he can lie like anything. So usually if his lips are moving, he's lying. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.